You see the 21 on his hat. That is for George Boyardi, Cornell defenseman who died after taking a lacrosse ball to the chest back in 2004 when Jeff Tambroni was the head coach. Penn State wins the opening faceoff. Reed Gills all the way to the cage, turned away by Wyatt Nust. An explosive start, loose ball in front early. And it comes back to the Nittany Lions, who can now settle.
Or Trainer, 22.
There is Matt Trainer, Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. 6 goals in the quarterfinal win. Machetes through the Cornell defense, but lost the ball. Tries to keep it in bounds. The white lines represent the boundaries, and we get a shot clock violation.
Best 2 interior passing teams in the country you see today with this Cornell group and then with Syracuse in game 2.
Cornell, the #1 offense in the country. Only 1 shot so far here in the first quarter. Penn State with a chance here. Nust got a piece of it. It comes back to Lehman. That resets the shot clock. Working on Bozzi. Tries to get topside, now picked up by the pole. Still plenty of time to shoot. Trainer now with a short stick matchup. Gets a step. Trainer. Bounce shot left hand. Nust off to a strong start. His 3rd save. Penn State gets another rebound. It's a fresh 60. Trainer turbines. Down the alley. Doubled. Has to give it up. Peden up top. Aquino face dodge. Not there. Cornell holding.
Excellent recovery by Cornell's defense. They play that one inside out. They were very condensed, but a good approach.
Aquino now, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Another save by Nust. 4 for 4. Hot goalies can be all the difference when you get to championship weekend.
He's on. Rebounding from last week. Rebounding from earlier in the season.
Cornell loves to play in chaos. And Goldstein got the side of the net. Still no score. Now here comes Luzzy out of the box. Luzzy doubled, stick check loose. Goldstein able to scoop it up. Here's the skip pass. Sheehan step down, missed the cage. And it's Penn State ball. Leary the backup. Dooley jars that one loose. And it's picked up by Singer, Jason Singer. Now big Hugh Kelleher. Willem Firth, there's the ball movement. Kirst missed the cage with the backup to Michael Long.
Team's always hunting the best shot, make the extra pass.
Both teams a combined 0 for 10. Long, Serpents tries to sting, turned away. Penn State with the backup. Boy, the hustle plays.
Yep. To give the ball to Matt Trainer, it's that simple. He was so good against Notre Dame last week, creating offense too, so they're going to slide to him.
There is Trainer. Good look. Face dodge. He trips. We get a first flag, and Penn State will go man up
to score 5 on 4. When he's getting locked off in that spot, it's just congesting the entire inside. Yeah, get him out if he's shut off.
Here comes Long. Nust with another stop. 5 for 5. He's been the best player in this opening quarter. Here is Kirst. More goals than anybody in Division I. He draws the traffic.
Look at the attention.
Long wants it. Pass knocked down by Ross. It will stay with Cornell. One of the subplots in that first meeting between these two, Alex Ross and his defense on C.J. Kirst. Here comes Long, looking inside. On the doorstep to open the scoring.
Firth can be automatic. So much attention on C.J. Kirst. Ryan Goldstein. Don't forget about the sophomore from Canada. It's a save by Wyatt Nust. He's been spectacular in the first quarter. And then it's the brains, the IQ of the operation. The 6th-year senior, Michael Long, to the sensational sophomore.
Left, left, left.
Specifically,
move your stick left.
As you hear the refs right now.
Reed Gills wins the faceoff from Jack Cascadden. Gills spins it to Trainer, looking for the equalizer. Bounce shot. Nust got a piece of it.
Left, left,
you look
left.
at this Penn State team, you look at their score by quarter. They're terrific in the fourth quarter. And you spend some time with them on Fridays and practices the last 2 weeks, and they're in great shape. They're about as mentally tough a team as you'll ever see. They're committed to play the full 60, I'll tell you that.
14-12. Wallstrom Dumps it back to Amon, defended by TJ Lamb. Amon, the Rutgers transfer. Behind the back, whoa! Liam Matthews, Sports Center top 10.
Canadians wearing 51. Kind of a theme, Quentin.
That could be a spark for this game, because at some point, this baby's going to open up and these teams are going to start getting up and down the field. Pass across the formation, keep your eyes on the right side of the screen. Matthews cuts left-handed down the seam. Gilmartin loses him in the wash. Roll back, passes on the money. Now, as a shooter, he feels the front side pressure and he's running himself out of angle. So as a lefty there, this is a high percentage shot. You go over your shoulder. And finally, Penn State's got a solution to Wyatt Nust. Penn State staying in our hotel. I was walking down the hallway yesterday. Penn State player, I don't know who he was, on his phone in my hallway. I walked by him. He's talking on the phone. He says, "We like our matchup with Cornell." And I just kept walking.
Matthews, Lehman, save Nust. Right now, Wyatt Nust has been the difference for Cornell. Here we go, another ground ball. Staub stepped out of bounds. Far different story than 2019. First time Penn State got here, had a great team with Grant Ament and Mac O'Keefe, and a first quarter stage fright against Yale cost them. Here is Peden, snaking inside and scores. He's a spark plug. He's a catalyst on that second midfield, and he gives Penn State the first lead of this semifinal.
There's two things on this dodge by Peden. He gets underneath. Once he gets underneath, he knows he has to go airborne to increase his angle. And he goes away from the crease, nowhere close to the crease line or the goal mouth. That is offensive awareness.
Penn State's top face-off man, Kobe Baldwin, has been hurt the last few weeks. But the freshman Reed Gills has stepped up. 4 for 4 today. Cascadon finally wins one. He's got 9 goals this year. Make it 10. This is a Penn State team, Quint, that now has 20 goals on the season from its long poles and its face-off position.
This guy's a different cat, man. He is a freight train running down and hill. It's more of a counter move. Gills tried to go out the front side. Cascadon just slides down the line and blocks it. And then, nobody wants to slide off of CJ Kurst. Nobody wants to slide off of Ryan Goldstein.
Wallstrom with the wing dodge. Runs out of an angle, plays it back. Terrific move and a score. Liam Matthews has 2 of the 3 for Penn State.
This is high-level offense. Love this throwback assist. You're moving in one direction, and the ability to pass it behind you, where you just came from, off this pick. Watch this pass by Wallstrom.
I love the shot by Matthews, too. The deception, he doesn't fall through. So the goaltender has a really tough time tracking the ball here coming out of the stick. The calmness around goal line extended. It's the underneath move to get the defender to bite initially as a shooter.
Better quality shots in this quarter. When they shot, 0 for 10 in that first quarter, I thought there were some maybe shots from the outside and some poor execution and location against Nust.
Big ground ball pickup by Charlie Box. You see a lot of Jeff Teat and Willem Firth.
Got a matchup here for Long.
He's got a short stick, but a good one in Aldridge. Long plays it back on a bounce. Firth, step down, body save, Frassian. On the rebound comes to Penn State and John King.
Gritty play by 30.
Now the ride, and it forces the turnover.
And in the Ivy tournament, too. He is a monster with both hands. So to Quinn's point, you get him going up top, it's a different look. He has a different skill set than the rest of that offense.
He's drawing double teams.
Lehman scores. He dusted Staub, who lost his footing. And Penn State doubling up Cornell.
You got to buckle up. You got to get dirty if you're Penn State. You got a juggernaut to stop. And the nation's top player in CJ Kurst, Alex Ross and company doing their part, Quinn.
When you're a quarterback in the NFL, you got to hold your feet. You fall down, you get beat. You get beat, you get cut.
There's Hugh Kelleher Over to Long, stings the corner. Kelleher to Long, and it's 4-3.
You were calling for him, weren't you? You wanted some you.
Hugh Kelleher is I mean, we met him yesterday. He is chiseled out of granite, and his speed, his ability to shoot, draws double teams. Right there it is. And next thing you know, from the wing, Michael Long dials up a corner, but it all starts with Hugh Kelleher.
It does, and that's the aspect that he provides for the offense. Everyone else is kind of a wing dodge-oriented player. Hugh Kelleher is a runaway train.
Saw him play high school football at St. X in Cincinnati. He was a bad, bad man.
Played high school football. Kelleher, there he is. Hugh the Hammer. We're tied at 4.
2022. Hugh Kelleher, championship weekend, just a freshman. We saw his potential. Now it's manifested into this, a runaway train ripping through the defensive pressure. That is too big, that is too fast, that is too strong.
Now Peden camped out at X behind the cage. Trainer's got a short stick. Here comes Trainer, accelerating toward the cage. Air Trainer, flag down. Does the goal count? It does.
Goal's going to be good. They rejoice in Happy Valley. And when Matt Trainer sets his mind on getting to the crease, getting to the rack, there's no getting in his way.
He lands in that goal mouth, but it's because of defensive pressure. So the goal is good. There's the push from the back. You cannot land in the goal mouth at all unless it's defensive pressure. That's the half circle inside of the crease area. And this is a common theme for Matt Trainer in the playoffs. Leave your feet and score some nutty goals. He did that last week against Notre Dame.
Set.
Clean exit, Cascadden, who's got a goal. Puts one on cage. That one's turned away. Cascadden able to get it back. Top 3 nationally.
Ball movement, ball reversal.
That one taken away momentarily by Leary. Here comes Penn State.
Look who got the ground ball again.
It's John King. Trail check, Firth. Trainer picks it up. He gets hit in the back by Dalton. Loose ball, no flag. That looked like a push with possession.
Here's your hustle stats.
Here comes Firth, accelerating the other way.
This track could get slick. It was pouring rain at half. It stopped again.
Staub's a threat with the pull, and he scores! 9th career goal. He had one in the quarters as well.
Up and down we go. John King thinks he's off to the races. He's trail checked. Trainer gets fouled. That's a miss by these officials. He was run over from behind. That should have been a loose ball push.
When you think of this offense, everyone's got the green light. Staub scored last week. Back home on Long Island, Garden City product, playing at Hofstra. He does it again. This is the 11th pole goal on the season for Cornell. Green light for everyone.
Trailer awareness by Michael Long. It favors the receiver.
Luzzy sneaks down the alley. Now here is Goldstein, one of those quick dodgers. A second-team All-American. Feeds the middle. Frassian with his biggest save of the game off the Waldman shot.
You see the passing ability of Goldstein.
The very best.
2 inside on the crease. Interesting formation.
54% with the extra man this season. Long. Feeding inside. Does the goal count? Was he in the crease? They may wave this off. They do. Rory Graham in the crease.
That's a win for Penn State's.
Was former Penn State great Grant Ament, and he said, coming down the alley, the behind-the-back pass that Ament would make, he said, I kind of took that from watching video of Grant Ament.
Ryan Goldstein has trained with.
Dumps it back to the 6'6" Aquino.
A little zone D. No, this is man from Cornell.
Ethan Long from the wing. He is dangerous. 4 points in each of the first 2 tournament games. Interior feed, and Mr. Matthews with a hat trick in this semifinal.
CJ Kirst has not scored in this game. Alex Ross, left-handed, strong hold, falls on the carpet, ties him up, and then gets some help from the posse.
The money man today, Liam Matthews with a hat trick. Third of the afternoon. He's been dominating the interior as a finisher.
Got banged up. He had to bump off of attack to the second midfield. Luke Wallstrom bumped down from attack to midfield, and it created Quint an opportunity for Liam Matthews. He scored some huge goals now in this tournament.
Championship weekend, usually a freshman or a sophomore, or maybe a senior, a role player, like back in the day, Nick Liccamelli,
Yes.
back in 1995,
Yes,
when you
exactly.
won it.
Kelleher! Ho, ho! An absolute Hadouken from the first team All-American midfielder.
I'll tell you who's not a role player, who's a senior, and he's bringing complete gas. He's been the bright spot. Hugh Kelleher initiating as a passer in that second quarter and a dodger. Start to third. Little shimmy shake. Direct overhand. How do you like that sound?
Tell you, defensively, he gets a running start out of the substitution box. You got problems. Ryan O'Connor, 42 in blue, backs up into about 10 yards. If you're Jack Frassi and Penn State's goalie, you got to communicate this one a little better. He's got to pick him up at the top of the box. They increased his volume in practice, and he's delivered.
This is tough for a Penn State defense with this ball movement and these constant resets.
They go zone. Looks like they're in.
And the zone D worked wonders in the win against Notre Dame. Waldman puts one on Cage. 12th of the year for the sophomore out of Westfield, New Jersey.
I think Penn State goes zone because the defense in man with these constant resets was tired and gassed. Walden recognizes that and beats Frassion, who doesn't step to the pill.
When he was a young boy, one of the underrated parts of his game was that he was such an observer, like his father, Kyle. He'd observe and then adjust his game plan from there. A total team player.
He grew up with 4 other brothers, 3 in the PLL. Staub feeding Goldstein. Right now, Cornell's playing a little bit of make it, take it lacrosse. They're winning faceoffs. They're getting offense. And now Staub, the long pole, has been a part of 2 goals.
This is terrific deception from Staub, who has alerted Penn State that he's got a vicious outside shot, so he gives that motion that he's going to let it rip. Defense steps out to him. Goldstein is so cagey at the pipes. There's no player who sneaks around the goal better than Ryan Goldstein. He does it again. 1 touch off the Staub feed.
Here comes Sheehan. Kirst still looking to get on the board. Alex Ross has done a tremendous job on the best player in the nation. Luzzy cashes in. It's a 5-1 spurt here in the third quarter for Cornell, and they've got their largest lead of this semifinal.
Luzzy's one of those role players, only 7 goals coming into today. The scout on him is you're going to have to force him to beat you one-on-one. There's really no slide help. So Luzzy knows if he can get the separation, if he can free his hands up for just a second, he's going to get that opportunity on Frassion.
So CJ Kirst has been locked down for Cornell, but look at where they're getting their goals from today. Cascadin off the faceoff, the second midfield. Guys like Waldman and Luzzy. Staub, a long pole, has a goal and an assist. What's the counterpunch now for Penn State?
I think Trainer 22 is in the picking game.
Nittany Lions rallied from 6 down with less than 6 minutes to go in the third last week. Matthews turned away by Nust.
And what Dana sees on that bench every time out, it is an example of that.
Kirst over to Firth. Long. Wow. Cornell pressing downhill. That's 5 unanswered. And a 10-6 lead for the #1 team in the country.
WDWS. Well done. Better than well said. Starts with a big stop. You stay tall from the inside. Don't guess low. And then at the other end, the ball movement is spectacular.
Yeah, there's the hot potato. #1 team in the nation, assists per game, like I mentioned earlier. Ball moves at hyper speed, and then you get those type of step downs.
To Cornell. And faceoffs have been a big reason Cornell has seized momentum. Cascadden getting the better of the freshman Gills. He does so again. Cornell has won 13 of the last 16 after Penn State won the first 4.
Dominating on the ground balls, too. Owned in the first quarter, no longer.
Look out here. Walker Wallace. Frasian gets a piece.
Draw the double and then kick it. Attack the weak side of the formation. You got to get a defensive reaction to like right there with Kelleher. Then they swing and they'll attack the far side.
Frasian got his big goalie stick on it. So the zone defense coming up. Well, here's Matthews. He's got 3 goals for Penn State. He's been the bright spot offensively. Lehman trying to get to the middle. Long had the game winner against Cornell in the regular season. That time he just beat Wyatt Nust. It's 10-7. Can that be the spark for Penn State?
Could have been a game breaker for the 6'7" monster, Walker Wallace. He's got time and room and giddy up with that 6-foot pole. Frasian gets a piece and then the post. That is a save that creates this.
Watch this subtle little wing dodge, pick set by Lehman. And you see Long goes on top of this. The defender, Gilmartin, goes underneath. What does that create? Well, enough separation to free your hands up for the shot.
Is known as the Persian Panther. Sprinkled holy water on the Penn State players on the Nittany Lions sideline. And that spurred the comeback. That's how the story goes. Matthews, he's showing off. He's showing off alchemy from the Canadian.
Not again.
The holy water strikes again.
This is absolute madness. We are all rise. Liam Matthews with not 1, but 2 insane BTBs. The location, the snap, and the top hand quickness of this banger. Take your breath away. 4 for 16. Feed him in the paint.
Mullins wins the faceoff. Over to Lehman. Penn State can feel the pendulum swing.
Down 5 goals in the 4th to win by 1. You're never out of it in this game.
At some point, Quint, though, the Stars need to step up. Trainer and Kirst both have been quiet. Nust with a big save on the shot by Wallstrom. Gilmartin.
Hangman over by the bench, in front of the Cornell bench. Gilmartin's going to run off.
Kirst. Up top. Save Frasian. Picked up by O'Connor.
Think of
the head
Franco's
Aldridge
nerves right now.
He's got numbers.
Over to the wing. Trainer. The crowd roars. Penn State within 1. Maybe there's something to that holy water after all.
You play defense. Great double team. Forces the ball out of the Stars' pocket, and your goalie stands tall. But what was magical here was the handle. O'Connor with smooth hands. Aldridge, eyes up.
Here's the suddenness I mentioned in the open. This is what I love about Matt Trainor's stroke. It's catch and the swooping release in 1. Quint, you wanted 22 to step up. There it is.
Grant Ament. TJ Malone. Now Matt Trainer. That's Socrates to Plato to Aristotle, the lacrosse version. Huge face-off here. Rain starting to pelt the turf at Foxborough. Now the Wings get involved. Cornell able to scoop. Kelleher to Michael Long. Back to Goldstein. Feed to Kirst. Frasian, I'm not sure he saw it, but he got a piece. Timeout, Connor Busick. 2 turnovers, 1 ground ball. Kelleher using the pick. Kirst, slight hesitation. Had the left hand, instead gives it up to Firth. Long, the skip pass. Kelleher, step down, missile. A hat trick for Hugh the Hammer.
Having a day, Hugh Kelleher, but it starts with the defense. Lehman enjoys the pick, trying to get top side, and all of a sudden that window closes. Excellent double team.
On the other side, there's two ways to get Big U popping. One is through the substitution game, head of steam. The other, feet set. That is a big boy whip. I love the release on this too. Catches and just lets it fly on Frassian, who's got no shot at that heat.
Ryan Goldstein, one of the top assist men in the country. Firth against the short stick Leary. Kirst setting the pick.
Hangman situation.
Now they got a matchup for Kirst. Kirst free with the left hand. Frassian the veto. We have not seen much of Hunter Aquino today. Amon sets the pick for Trainer. Draws the slide. Amon whiffs. Big ground ball again. Amon in trouble. Amon and Gilmartin. Gilmartin punches it ahead.
Nice.
Picked up by Long with 1:40 to go, and Cornell's got a timeout if they need it. Two defenders come out near midfield to meet Kirst. Tireless motor. Cornell doesn't have a timeout. Kirst about to go out of bounds. Firth, the bailout, the shot on goal.
It's a reset.
Stay
It's a reset.
with Cornell.
Referees looking at the video, Anish. It looked like it hit the butt end of the defensive player's stick. That should be a reset.
Back in cage. Cornell's just going to kill this clock if Penn State can't get it back. Gilmartin's pass picked off. Frassian up ahead to Aldridge. They still have time. 25 seconds. Aldridge can score in transition. His pass tipped by Davis. The takeaway by Cornell. They're 20 seconds away from playing for a national championship. The Big Red, hold on. They do it with grit and toughness and ground balls. And Cornell, the #1 seed, will play for a championship on Monday.